All right, welcome back to the Baseball Bluebook. Are You in the Book podcast? My name is Eric Wolbenaw, the president of the Baseball Bluebook. As we are always doing, having great coaches on across the country, talking about their journey to the coaching world, as well as the philosophy and the program, giving them a great opportunity to share their story and really looking for insights into kind of what it takes to play at that next level. Make sure before we begin, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate your input, the comments, the likes. Always a great opportunity to kind of get involved in the conversation. But we appreciate the audience, and we appreciate Coach Ryan Hunter joining us today from Delaware County Community College. Coach, how are you today?
I can't complain. Every day that I get baseball is a great day.
I love it. I already like you, Ryan. This is great. It's been a great year so far. I just, every year it just seems like, there's new things to enjoy, new storylines, in the coaching world and the college levels, particularly. There's so many things that are happening. So getting into the conversation today certainly will take us, I hope, into kind of what's going on in the world of the junior college and the community college level. But before we get into that, Coach, we always love to hear about your background, kind of where you came from. How did you get to where you are today? And we always call it the coach's journey. So I'm going to hand it to you, and let's hear a little, just an introduction and a little bit about you, sir.
Definitely. Well, I've been playing baseball since I was a kid. I started at 5, played Babe Ruth ball up to high school. I went to Howard High School of Technology, where I played for John Green, in my opinion, one of the best coaches here out of Delaware, who is also now coaching in Region 19 as my opposition at Salem Community College. Left Howard, went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore as a pitcher, where I played for the great Coach Hall. Absolutely love that guy, and he's one of the individuals that actually helped me get started into coaching. After college, went and joined the United States Air Force. Continued to play in some adult leagues during my Air Force time. Got a little older, blew out my knee, and that was the telltale sign for me to get full-time into coaching. I started out on my coaching journey at Frieri Charter School of Wilmington. Kyle Nelson, the athletic director, gave me my first opportunity. So truly appreciative of him and those kids for really taking the opportunity to learn the game of baseball. From there, I went on to Williamson College of the Trades and coached under Coach Doug Thompson, one of the best baseball minds and decision makers that I've been around in my career, which led me to branch off from there and venture onto my journey to Delaware County Community College, where I am now.
Boy, that's you named the number of powerhouses in the coaching world, and I always appreciate coaches giving the shout out and really kudos to guys that kind of laid the groundwork. I think my favorite is you saying that you found your coach, one of the very first coaches, really saw what kind of something in you that really said, hey, you could do this coaching thing. And that's unique, right? Not everybody can coach. Talk about kind of what he saw, because you're certainly probably seeing some of the same characteristics in players that you have and that you've been able to coach. What are some of those things that really kind of stand out for you as well as others that coaching kind of might be the right fit?
Well, I think the biggest thing was my love for the game and my love to learn the game. So a big start for me, and I tell people all the time, and I don't use it as leverage, but I tell people all the time, I had a Hall of Fame start. So my love of the game really spawned from being the great nephew of Judy Johnson, who is Delaware's only Hall of Fame baseball player. Learning history of the game from a young kid throughout my life, it gave me a profound appreciation of the ins and outs, the day to day and the grind of the game from every level. And I think that was one thing that Coach Hall saw from me as a catcher and helping me develop into a collegiate pitcher. Just really an understanding of how to marry the two, and then what I could do in terms of development for me, and then starting to develop others. And he said, "Why not coach?" And I said, I always thought of myself as a player. I've never really thought of myself as a coach. And then into the adult leagues, I ended up not only just building an adult team where I was a player coach, and then I went on to actually develop my own league here in Wilmington, Delaware, the MI2 Baseball League, which I ran for 4 years up until this year when I took on the head coaching role. I got a bit much being a league president, organizer, a manager, and a player. So now I dialed it back a bit just to be a head coach. But I think, and even in one of my current players, Cole DeRosa, he's a catcher, profound love of the game. One of the kids that I've just talked to him about the same things is why not coach? And he's actually taken on some roles in some youth travel ball right now, helping develop the next generation, just like he was developed.
That's great. I love that you talked about the love of the game. Really, absolutely. It's one of the vital pieces of even being one of a top player is the love of the game. But you also talked about understanding a lot of the components, right? There's a lot to baseball, right? And our audience is all baseball guys. They're all baseball fans and family. They get it. One of the things I'm seeing as a fan though is kind of the lack of understanding of the game. Talk about kind of you growing up playing it. You were surrounded by it. Obviously had family that was just instrumental in part of, teaching that. What are some of the things that you're seeing, as well as some advice that you might have for families, right? Parents that have little kids. They don't know what they don't know. And so kind of go that direction for me.
And I'll go back to the advice that my very first coach, John Surratt, gave to not only just me, but my teammates and our families is have fun with the game and don't allow anyone, whether it's a parent, whether it's a spectator, somebody from another team, to take your joy of the game away. We see a lot of kids right now, and I just came from a high school game. There are a lot of individuals, parents, spectators, who really take some of the fun out of the game for the kids, with putting expectations on them, with really relaying some of what might be even their insecurities or lack of confidence in, and they project it on these kids and these student athletes. And it really takes a lot of the joy away from the game. And I tell people, keep that joy as long as possible, because some great athletes have been ruined by people taking away their joy of the game. And it hasn't been the game itself. It has been people taking that joy away from them.
Boy, that is profound. It's funny, and it's a parable as old as time. I remember my dad telling me about having fun and watching the other parents losing it over their players, their sons, the way that they play. And it's like, I don't know how those players ever had any fun, and they didn't, right? They're the ones that quit. But you bring up a really good and an important part. And again, to the audience, this isn't new. This has been going on for a long time. I think Coach Hunter is bringing a really good point to it, is to keep that fun. What is some advice that you, as a coach, as a player, you're watching this happen? It's one thing to say, have fun. What does that mean, and what levels does it mean, and where does it change? Where is it that age that all of a sudden maybe it's okay to go from, just having fun to kind of taking it a little bit seriously?
Well, and I think that at every level it should be some seriousness to it. And I can't remember which player had the quote where he said but at the beginning of the game, they say play ball, not work ball, because the game is meant to be fun. So
Yeah.
I think at some point, especially at the high school level, you want to be competitive. And I think being serious and being competitive are two very different things. And I think a lot of people think taking it serious, you can't have fun. My center fielder currently, Gabe Palandra, one of the most fun people that I have ever been around as a coach. This kid is just a ball of energy, pure energy. He loves the game. And we've had conversations about seriousness versus having fun and how we marry the two. And I think he does such an amazing job pairing the two together with having fun and knowing when you can still have fun and be serious. So I think as long as you see yourself having a future in the game, always take it serious and always have fun. I come across a lot of kids who will say, and this goes back to my days coaching youth travel organizations, kids are like, I didn't even want to play baseball. My dad had a dream of being a major league baseball player, and I want to play the trumpet. So how serious is that kid going to take it when it's not something that is in him? And I think as long as you have it in you, there's a level of seriousness that always goes with it, but you have to pair it with having fun.
That's perfect. That really is. It's a good balance. When you watch even the major leagues and the collegiate level, you can tell the kids that are having fun, right? I mean, they're serious, but you could also tell the ones that are stressed out versus having fun. And certainly as fans, we can see that. And it certainly has an effect on your play in the field. Let's talk about Delaware. It's your first year.
Yes.
Big step, collegiate baseball coach. I mean, there's only a few of you guys in the country. There's about 1,700 programs, and you being one of them, congratulations. I think this is awesome. I love when I talk to new coaches. So let's talk about the program. Let's talk about your philosophy. Let's talk about kind of the players that you're looking at, and what kind of program are you looking to build and instill into the players that you're bringing to Delaware?
Definitely. So DCCC, Delaware County Community College, NJCAA Region 19. I tell everybody that this is the toughest region in the nation. And I know everybody has seen me say it over and over, but I truly believe it. And just coming into this atmosphere, I mean, present day, we have 3 of the top 5 teams in the country for D3 in our region. It's extremely competitive baseball. I am an extremely competitive person, so it was a great marriage for me to come to DCCC and restart a program that had been out of intercollegiate baseball for a few years, and then following behind a legend like Coach Moda, somebody who had 700 wins, and really reestablishing something in Delaware County, which I tell everybody else, Delaware County is one of the best counties in the state for baseball and one of the best on the East Coast. Some super competitive schools, super competitive teams, and there's a huge talent pool in Delaware County that if we tap into and keeping some of those players local, there's no reason we can't be mentioned with some of those top teams in the country very soon.
That's awesome. That's great. It's a community college. So talk, some people, one of the big things right now, you hear a lot of people going, hey, JUCO is a big, a good direction to go. There's a lot of benefits to it. There's multiple seasons with the fall and the spring. There's maybe larger rosters, maybe a little bit, a little more flexibility as the schedules allow people to develop. Are you guys, do you focus on the development side? Are you looking for players that can play right away? What is some of the kind of players that you're specifically looking for not certainly, not necessarily right now, but kind of the big picture of what do you want this program to be viewed as?
So, and I think that that's a great question because the right now leads into where we're going to be in the future. So present day, For me, it's all about development. It's always been about development at every level. But again, and I think we used an analogy earlier before we started the podcast where we talked about buyers and sellers. So right now, I'm positioning myself to become a seller of talent. I want kids that come in and they're developing with me for 2 years, and then we're transitioning them into 4-year programs. We know right now, because JUCO is so competitive and how things are with the transfer portal, the larger schools, the Power Fives, the D1s, the D2s, they're pulling JUCO kids into their program. And you see high school seniors coming in and they're sitting for a year or two, and they may not get development. And I think the best development is coming to this level, getting game reps. So when you're playing some of these Region 19 teams, and I mean powerhouse teams, Brookdale, you're playing Northampton, you're playing RCSJ Gloucester, and these are nationally ranked teams, are last year's national champion. You're playing these teams and you're playing high level baseball, and some of these teams can compete with Division I, Division II schools. So you're playing a level of competition that prepares you to transition out of here in another 2 years. And then going forward, in a few years, and I say a few years with a little bit of an asterisk because I want it to be as quick as possible, but we're transitioning to a program where there are some potential D1, D2 freshmen that have come in and really didn't get the experience that they were looking for. And they're coming to us and saying, hey, I want to play at an organization that's a high level. And we transition into a little bit of being buyers. But I think for me personally, it never changes that I'm there to develop players. So whether I'm developing them for a 4-year institution or I'm helping them develop to be a great father, to be a great employee, I think some of these kids, and I see it present day, some of my kids are graduating this May and they know that they don't want to continue down the path of baseball. And we're talking about their 5-year plan in life. We're not just talking about baseball. We're talking about how are you investing your money? We're talking about savings plans. We're talking about how do you enroll in your health plan when you get a real job? What are you going to do with your degree? So we have real life discussions, and it doesn't solely revolve around baseball.
Doesn't that make it great? I mean, the impact that you have on these kids. Yeah. I hear that a lot. I hear that so much. I'm fortunate to have a family that has been in the coaching world, not in baseball, but 20 some years in baseball. And they're always the favorite part is when you get invited to weddings, when you get invited to kids' birthdays. And these are kids that they help raise, and now they're having their own families. And I hear that all of the time from you coaches, and it's pretty awesome just to hear that. Guys, that's what's so important about finding the right fit, finding the coach that looks out for your players, big picture, right? But I love what you're talking about of being buyers, being sellers. You want to be sellers. So back to the JUCO, back to your level. I'll tell you what, one of the things that I absolutely appreciate is the level of talent at the level that you're at. It does not matter. And I 100% agree. You guys can compete with the best. So talk about what players should be doing to figure out if that's the right place. Is Delaware the right place for you? Is it camps that you might have? Is it just simply showing up and watching a ball game one or a couple times a week? What is your advice to players that maybe don't know where they want to go? Maybe they've got their sights a little high. Maybe those been knocked down. What's some advice that you might have for them, Coach?
So I think the biggest thing is to talk to me, talk to my players, come in for a campus visit, see the environment, talk to student athletes, talk to Dwayne Saunders, my assistant athletic director, talk to Allison Gleason, our athletic director, talk about the vision of the school, about the programs. Dr. Cronin has been a huge advocate for athletics at the school. and she has a very open door policy. She's willing to talk to anybody about what we're building here. And I think finding the right place that is willing to support you. Again, the shelf life of a coach. If you're not one of these big name Power 5 coaches, the shelf life of a coach is 2 to 3 years. We turn over fairly quickly. Again, there's 1,700 plus coaching jobs. So those jobs, those people change. And again, don't come to the school for me. I may not be there. Don't come solely for me. Find a program that you absolutely love. Find a campus that you love. Find a culture that fits you, and find an environment that fits you. It's not about coaching. I get so many kids that say, I want to come play for you. And the first question I ask them is, what if I'm not there? Do you still want to play for Delaware County if I'm not here?
Yeah.
Find the program that fits you. Some kids have come to me and said, hey, I want to play for you. I ask them, what do they want to major in? And they give me a major that we don't offer. So now, do you really want to play for me and just randomly pick a major and get a degree in something that you're not passionate about? Find the fit that is best for you. Don't just do it for coaches. Don't just do it for the development. Unless, of course, you truly believe, hey, I'm that 1 in a million major league talent, and you, Coach Hunter, are going to develop me to get there. Come on. I welcome that challenge all day, every day. But again, I really believe that you have to find the best organization that fits you. If you take the coach out of the equation, find the program that best fits you.
That's really good. That's really good, because what that is that's a long-term plan, right? Because this decision you're about to make is a 30 to 40 year decision. And I think a lot of kids and parents forget that. You know, they love Coach Hunter. I'd love to play for you. You sound like such a great guy, and, drive, but you're absolutely right. It's funny that you said that. You got to look at the major, right? Find out where it is. Does it have what you want? And if not, maybe that's okay. Maybe a JUCO is a good place to kind of figure out where you want to be. And if that's the right fit, then that also fits what you're saying, right? You have to figure out where you're at, and then make it fit with that. So again, you've given a couple of great pieces of advice. I always offer the opportunity to brag on the program a bit, talk about Delaware, not specifically in baseball, but what kind of, a lot of JUCO community college are remote. So it's a lot of people that go back and forth from home. Do you guys have campus life? Talk just a bit about kind of the atmosphere, the surroundings, what kind of campus is it, those types of things.
So I absolutely love the Delaware County campus. If you've ever, or anyone has ever been in Delaware County, it is very nature driven. On campus, you're liable to see 10 to 15 deer. We have a nature trail that runs literally right past our baseball field, right beyond center field. It's a small waterfall. I come out and I'm on our field and just doing some field maintenance for therapy. You hear the sound of the water. There's a pond maybe about not even a half a mile away from home plate. It is a very peaceful environment. We had a great view of the eclipse. So it was really central for a lot of our kids to be able to take a view of the eclipse. It was lovely. Our campus is we have 3 satellite campuses as well. So we're not just one campus. Our main campus, Marple, which is where our baseball field is where I am 99% of the time. But we have a Chester County branch, Pennox Bridge branch, and an Upper Darby branch. So we have 4 locations, and we're working on a 5th. I believe that is going to open in another 2 years. So we're continuing to expand. But again, I think it's such a great focus, especially for trades. We have some amazing trades programs. So I've been reaching out to a lot of the vocational technical high schools just to inform kids about how great our VOTEC programs are. A lot of kids get so caught up in the traditional, the business managements, the accounting. You get caught up in those really standard majors when you get to college. But we have some really great automotive programs, plumbing programs, and a lot of these jobs guarantee you employment as soon as you finish that degree. Some of our automotive programs, our students are getting job offers after their first semester of completion. So, I mean, we have so much to offer, even more than just an athletic standpoint. A lot of my kids benefit through our trades programs, and we have what's called the Kelleher Grant. These kids who are engaged in a certain trade, and it does focus on trades, they are almost guaranteed a full scholarship. And I say almost because they do obviously take a look into what you qualify for financial aid, any types of scholarships that you may have been awarded outside. And in some cases, it completely makes up the difference for kids. Because we are actively pushing kids towards trades programs. We see the gap in our society with skilled trades and skilled labor, and it's a huge benefit to these kids. One of my center fielder who I spoke about earlier, Gabe Palandro, he's in one of our trades programs, and I don't think he has paid a dime to come for 2 years, and he's graduating in May, debt free. So another big thing for what I push for a lot of our student athletes is, hey, you want to come to a program and you want to graduate as close to debt free as possible. And if you're looking to continue being a student athlete, let's look to get you into a 4-year institution where you can graduate as close to debt free as possible. And it might not always be D1. It might be D2. It might be D3. Yep. It might be NAIA. It might be USCAA. But these are viable options for you to continue your career and continue to get an education without the burden of debt.
Coach, that's a lot of great advice. For those that don't know, Delaware County Community is outside of Philadelphia. It's actually in the Pennsylvania area. Yeah. Nice and the kind of the blue collar. I love that you're the touting the trades. I'm huge for that. I always tell people it's difficult getting a business and management degree when there's nobody to manage. So maybe you should learn how to do a trade and then go back and get your management and marketing degree and then market yourself. Because
that's a huge key.
Yep. So it's been fantastic. So obviously this is the Are You in the Book podcast. We've got Coach Ryan Hunter with us at Delaware County. Coach, are you in the book?
I am in the book. You can check me out, Coach Ryan Hunter. I'm everywhere as Coach Ryan Hunter.
Well, we always appreciate that. For all of his contact information, you can find it in the Baseball Bluebook. Download for free. Build your own profile. Certainly, there's other social media platforms that Coach is on, but we also list all of those. So hopefully, Coach has got all those updated. Coach, it's been a lot of fun talking with you, getting to know you. Excited to watch your career, and you are certainly right. You are in one of the top divisions out there, the JUCO powerhouses, and I wish you all the luck. Excited to watch your career. Thank you, sir.
I truly appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, and I look forward to seeing so much more from the book.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Man, thank you very much. Coach, you are a lot of fun to talk to. I am excited to